Good
Ma'am,
morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Right. Today's class we will start with another program, that is write a program to create a dictionary containing names of competition winner students as keys and number of their wins as values. So let's directly do the question. Okay, I'll take that sample only, that is better. So this is my question. I'm going to just write it as a question as a block comment. Right. So we want a dictionary containing names of competition winner students. So I'm just taking the name winners for the dictionary, and here I want that the names of the students should become the keys, and the score values or the points, sorry, or the number of their wins, that is how many times they won a certain competition, that should become the value. So the same way we are going to do it. We are first going to ask for names of the winner, enter the name of the student, and number of their wins. Number of wins. And now how are we going to do it? You people are going to fill in the blank over here. So I'm just going to give you some pointers here. You are just going to fill the blanks. Displaying data. Okay, I did a mistake. Whenever you see that the unnecessary indentation is taking place, it means in the previous statement you have committed some mistake, right? Okay, so now we have to display this. So I'm writing here. So here also you need to fill in the blank. So let's discuss the answers now, as I'm not getting any response from you people. Okay. So here was the first blank. So I'm going to first remove this. Here in this statement, I need to add the key and value pair to the dictionary. So my dictionary name is winners. W name will be the key and wins will be the value. Okay. So this was the first one. Second one is a for loop for accessing all the keys. So I'm writing here for W name in winners dash won the competition. Obviously this should be the winner, who the name of the winner who won the competition. So W name won the competition, how many times, win, winners, W name times, which will give me the number of me. So this is your answer. Okay, this is how you might get such type of questions also in your exam. Next is deleting elements from a dictionary. There are only two methods for deleting elements. One is using del command, one is using the pop method. Now, how do you use del command here? Del command along with the name of the dictionary. So firstly, if you have a dictionary, like for example, let me create a simple dictionary over here. I already have one dictionary. Now I'll create a better dictionary. So this is my dictionary D1, and let me show it to you. This is the dictionary, and I'm going to paste this over here. So this is my dictionary, right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete one element from the dictionary. In order to delete an element, you need to access the element, and in a dictionary, how do you access the element? Using the key. So del and the name of the dictionary. So I'll be writing here dictionary object and the key. This is to delete one key value pair, right? So you will be writing it this way, del d1. Suppose you want to delete 3, so you will write it like this. Okay, so this will remove the key as well as the value from the dictionary. How? Let's see. Del d1, I'm writing 3 here, and it won't give me any output and it won't return any value either. But if you check dictionary D1 again, the item 3 has been removed from this dictionary. Got it? This is for deleting one element. And if you want to delete an entire dictionary, what will you do? You will simply write del and the dictionary object, like del d1. This will completely remove the dictionary. Now if you just write d1, name d1 is not defined. So del keyword is delete used to delete one element. And how do you write that? Dict object del dictionary object and the key. Next is used to delete the entire dictionary object. How do you write? Del dict object. Got it? Next is using the pop method. Now this is another method to delete values from a dictionary. Unfortunately, we cannot use it for deleting the entire dictionary. We can only use it for deleting any element, and by element we mean a key value pair from the dictionary, and also return it. It will not only delete the element from the dictionary, but it will also return that key. Got it? So how do we use this? We use it in this way: dictionary object dot pop. And we provide the key over here. Let us do this and see. So we have d1 dot pop. If I don't give any value, now firstly d1 is not defined, so I need to first define d1. So I'm going to copy this statement again and paste it here. Okay, unexpected indent. So you can see that just one extra indent causes an error. D1 dot pop without arguments. Pop expects at least one argument in this case, unlike sequence. Okay, so in sequences, that is in case of strings we cannot use. In case of lists, you at least need to, you could have even supplied no arguments to pop function, and it would remove the last element, the element with index -1, from the list. And otherwise what you do is just supply the index of the element and it would be deleted. But here it is not, it's not running if we don't provide any argument. If you just leave it like that without any arguments, it will give you an error, because here we need one argument, and that argument is the key of the value. Okay, so key of the dictionary which we need to remove. So I have just used 2 over here, and it gave me, it returned what, it removed this element, but it also returned its value. So certain things you need to understand about pop, that is, firstly, it is used to delete key value pairs from the dictionary and also return the value of the removed key. So key is removed and its value is also removed, and this function returns the value, right? So this is the syntax which we need to use for doing that, right? And in case, and it also shows the message in case key is not found. So let's just see, let's just try that out. I write here d1.pop and I'm writing here 6, and I'm writing here key not found. So if you can also provide an optional argument, that is an optional error message along with this. In case the key is not present, if you suspect that the key is not present in the dictionary, you can also provide a custom error message over here. Custom error message. When is this message displayed? When key is not found in the dictionary, right? So if you suspect that, if you are writing, if 6 is a value which is stored in a variable, right, and you are doing a project and in which you are trying to find out the you are trying to delete a specific record, okay, of a student using the roll number as the key. So in that case, if in case the roll number which the person enters, that is, you are asking for the roll number from the user. So now user can enter any random roll number. It may be present in the dictionary, it may not be present. So what you are doing is you are asking for the value in variable or in say RNO, and you have asked the value from the user, right? And suppose RNO can, if the roll number is entered within RNO, if it is there in the dictionary, fine, pop function will remove it and return its value, that is its entire data, in case you are using nested dictionaries as we discussed yesterday. And so that there it will run successfully. But in case that roll number is not there, okay, in case there are 50 students only and you are giving, the user has entered the roll number 55. So because in your program you have already provided a key not found or student not found or student not in list, you have just provided a proper error message such that your program doesn't stop like this with a red error message. Our aim should always be to avoid these kind of errors which are exceptions, okay, because these kind of errors, firstly they appear in red color which already perplexes the user, secondly it abruptly stops the program execution. So our purpose is we should not stop the execution in between, rather if a particular value is not there, it should just display a proper error message and continue with the rest of the execution of the program, right? So this is what, in case the key is not present in the dictionary, then we provide key not found. This is a custom error message which is provided, and this is an optional part. Dict object dot pop. First compulsory argument is the key. We definitely need the key over here. And second one is an optional argument. So I'm writing this within square bracket. This is prompt or error message. Right. So this is the optional argument here. And this is the compulsory argument. Right. So this is what is the pop function, and it also returns a value. It means on the left hand side you can have a value, okay, which will have the value which is deleted from the dictionary, right? So in case the value is present in the dictionary, it will be deleted, the key will be removed, and its value will be returned, right? So this was to remove the key. Next is checking for existence of a key in the dictionary. How do we check existence? We use membership operators. Okay, this is only used to check existence of keys as lookup. How? So if we have, let's define a proper dictionary now. Okay, so I'm writing here student or ages. Okay, a simple one at that I'm taking right now. So this is a simple dictionary which I have created, that is ages, okay, which contains names of some students and their corresponding ages. Now what we are trying to do, we are trying to see whether a particular key is present in the dictionary or not. So I will write here, if I write here Rohan in ages, what will this give me? It will give me the value true, because Rohan is the key which is present. If I write here Rohan not in ages, it will give me false, because according to not in, Rohan is not in ages. No, it is there. He is there. That is, it is false. Got it? And if you give any key which is not present in the dictionary, like in ages, it is false. And for the same thing, if you write Ravi not in ages, that is true. So by this method, we can only check whether a key is present in the dictionary or not. How do we check whether values are present in the dictionary? So for that, we will be using a trick, that is, I'm writing here 15 in ages dot values. So because you need to specifically now only check whether a particular value is there in the dictionary or not. So for that we need a list of values. So we will be writing 15 in ages dot values. If you simply write 15 in ages, if I write it like this, 15 in ages, this will give me already false. Okay, just give me a moment. I think I am missed out something. 15 is already there. Fine. Just a sec. Yes. So what we need to do is, yeah, I did a mistake. That is, I was doing a mistake. That is, do you see this? I have provided 15 within single quotes, and 15 within single quotes means it is a string. So I had to write it like this. Now it is giving me true. That is ages dot values is already there. appears as a tuple. If I just write here ages dot values, it's a method which returns a set of all the values within the dictionary. But this is what it is, a set. So in order to convert it from a set to a sequence, we have to use that particular function, that is list or tuple function. So here what I did, I had converted it into list, right? Otherwise also, if you are simply writing it like this, that is also correct. That is, you are checking for a certain value using the in operator to check whether it is present in the list of values of the dictionary or not. Same way, 16 in ages dot values, this also gives me true, and if I write 16 not in ages dot values, it will give me false. Got it? So this way, here what do? We write data. I'm using data over here, data in dict object. What this will do, this will check whether data is one of the existing keys within the dictionary object, right? And to check whether you want the value, so I'll write here data in dictionary object dot values. Check whether data is one of the existing values within dictionary. Right. So if you want to check for the keys or check for the values, you can do it in this way. Now students, one thing we had already learned how to remove values. How can we remove keys? Removing values is easy. You can simply write del. You can simply, okay, how, if you want to replace values, right? For example, I already have, I'm going to copy this from here. So this is it. Now here I want, if I write here ages Kavita, and suppose we recently discovered that Kavita is not 14 years old, she is 15 years old. So I will be writing it this way. So this way, this value gets replaced by 15. Right? Value gets removed. And if you try to delete it, right? If I write here del ages Kavita, it removes the entire key value pair. Okay. What can we do to only replace the key? How can we only replace the key? So for that, we will use something like this. Please be very patient and see. We'll be using some hit and trial here. If I, now firstly, what I need to do is remove the key from it and instead add another key. So for adding or updating a key, we use one method, and hence now because Kavita has changed her name, maybe due to some reason, and she has named, it was not Kavita, maybe it was Savita, and people had been addressing her by the wrong name so far. So she gets an affidavit registered, and these are real world situations which I am telling. So she gets her name properly corrected to Savita, and now I'll be writing it this way. Ages dot pop Kavita. What will happen in this case? Firstly, the right hand side is going to run. The pop function is going to delete this entire pair and save its key, right? Now we had already changed the key to 15. So I'll make that correction over here. This is 15, right? So 15 is already there. This age correction has been done. So the pop function will remove this entire key value pair from the dictionary, but it will retain its value, that is 15. And now another new key gets added over here, that is Savita. And its value becomes the value of the deleted key. Right? So let's check this out practically. So first let me print, okay, ages, this is ages. Now I write here ages Savita equals ages dot pop. Now what I am going to pop from here, I am going to pop Kavita. And now if you check ages, you will see that Kavita has been removed and a new element has been created, Savita. So you cannot do it in the same place, okay, because of course we cannot do that, but there is one more method to do this value, right? This is one of the methods. Another method is using the update function. So we will be seeing the update function in the later class, okay, towards the end of the class. Right now we are just going to move according to the flow. So this is one way of changing values in a dictionary. Next is a very interesting method which we are going to learn, pretty printing a dictionary. How we can pretty print a dictionary. So for that we need to first import the JSON module. Right? It is a specific object notation in which you will be able to see the keys and the values in a very proper format. That is why it is known as pretty printing the dictionary, right? So in this, we are going to use a method known as dump. So how do we use that? Suppose we want to pretty print the dictionary ages. So how will we use it? Within the print statement, within the print function, we will be writing JSON dot dump the dictionary object followed by an argument indent equals n. Now what is this n? It is a numeric value, integer value. You will understand the meaning of int now. Firstly, let me write the statement which we are going to run there. JSON full form I'll tell you later. If anybody knows right now, you can just, or if you can search it quickly and post it here. And I'm writing here dump ages, comma, indent equals, I'm just taking a value 3, which will always take an indentation of 3 spaces from the left side. Okay, let's do this and check it out. So print JSON, because it's a module, dot dump name of the dictionary, that is ages, indent equals 3. Okay, one positional argument is missing. What am I missing over here? Correct. Okay, it's dumps. It's not dump, it's dumps. Yes, it's actually not dump, but it is actually dumps. Okay, so ages indent equals 3. So you can see how this dictionary is being printed. This is how the dictionary is being printed in a proper format, right? Let's try doing it with another nested dictionary which I had created yesterday. So for this, I need to make some changes in this dictionary. So I'm going to just type it and quickly remove the unwanted quotes and replace them with proper quotes. So this is a nested dictionary, as you can see, which contains the names of students as the keys and the values are the other details about the students. Just it will take a while, a short while, students, be a little patient. Because in order to see the proper effect of the JSON module, the DUMS function, you need to at least have a good dictionary containing a dictionary containing a good number of values. So we are done. Press enter. Now I'm writing print json.dumps student info indent equals 3. Now you can see how it looks like. So there will be an indentation, and you can see the indentation is of 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this is, you can see 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. And for the next level also 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. That is your indent equals 3. So you can see Rohan Sharma and all the values of Rohan Sharma. Then Amita Sharma also, you can see the values of Amita Sharma. So this way you can see their values in a proper format. This is known as pretty printing a dictionary, right? So you can use this pretty printing method in order to properly print the values of a dictionary if you don't want to display it in the tabular format, right? So it's a very handy method for doing that. Next is counting frequency of elements in a list using dictionary. How we can count the frequency of elements in a list. So we will again do a program for that. For this purpose, what I am going to do is I'm just writing the program over here, the question over here. Now, in order to create a list of values, first let me take a string, okay, a string, and this should contain any string, like, or let me ask the string from the user. Enter a string. Because what I'm going to do is I'm trying to first convert a string into list which will contain certain number of values, and it is also going to count, this program is going to count the number of times elements exist in the dictionary, right? For example, let me just tell you what we are actually going to do. If I have a dictionary, sorry, if I have a string here, so I have just formulated this string, and within this, I'm going to convert this string into a list. Okay. And what I want is to count the number of times is appear, it appears, is appears, a appears, good appears, idea appears. So I'm going to check how many times a particular word appears in this list, right? So it should be like, I am going to create a dictionary known as words or words frequency. And within this, I want it to be in this way. It. Now, whatever it is, whether it is uppercase or lowercase, it should be counted as 1. That is, if you have it like this, or it like this, or it like this, they should be considered as one word only. So you can easily use the uppercase or lowercase functions available in Python for doing that. So it appears how many times? We have only one time. Next is. How many times? Once, twice, that means 2 times. A appears how many times? 1, 2. Again, it appears 2 times. Idea appears how many times? It also appears, you can see over here, 2 times. 2 appears 1 time. So this way you are going to check for all the values. And also one more thing, if you have already checked A, It is already there in the dictionary, right? So the next time when it encounters A, this should not be counted. Next time when it encounters idea, it should not be counted. Next time when it encounters good, it should not be counted. Understood? So this is what we are going to do. So how will I do it? I will be converting this string into a list first. So I will write a list or list of words. List underscore words equals, I will be using the split function for doing this, a string dot split. If you don't give any argument to split, the string will be split based on white space character. Wherever there is a space, it is going to break the string and create a list of words out of that, right? So let's, okay, we'll just complete the students. So over here, I'm going to first enter the string. So string will be entered. Then next, what I'm going to do, create a list of words, which will be equal to a string dot split. Right? Let me print list words and show it to you how it looks like. It is a good idea to innovate and create a new idea. I created this, and you can see when I press enter, it has converted this into a string. Okay, I did a mistake, that is, I also included the quotes, which I don't need to do. So I'm going to run this program once again because I don't want those unwanted quotes there. Now you can see that each word is there within the string. Each word is there, and you can also okay, fine. Yes, so each word is there within the list. Now the time to create the dictionary. So word frequency equals dictionary, empty dictionary for word in list words. Now first we will check if word in dictionary, if the word already exists in the dictionary, that means we don't need to add it to the dictionary, right? So we are going to write here, if word is not present in the dictionary, then only it should add. So we will be writing here word frequency, and as its key, what will be the key? Word will be the key, and the value will be the number of times it appears, right? So we will write here words dot count function we will be using, and count what? Let me explain. I'll explain this method. What I did was, firstly I converted word into lowercase. Now because word was an element within the list words list, okay, so I can use the count function to count for the number of occurrences of this word within the list, and that will become the value for the key word within the dictionary word frequency, right? Let's print using the JSON format. So I'm going to import the JSON module over here and write word frequency comma indent equals 3. So I'm going to copy this string once again, and you can see how it appears, how many times it appears. Okay, capital IT is giving me 0, is let's check whether it is correct or not. Is 1, yes, okay, A is 2. This is wrong because it appears once in the program. So let's see what went wrong. Hmm. Right. The problem was I converted word into lowercase, but the original value within the list was already lowercase, uppercase, sorry, title case. See, you can see it over here that within this, let me explain this in a detailed manner. These are the words, right? And already the list contains it in a capital format. That is title format, capital IT, right? And what we did was we converted that word dot lower. So we converted that into lowercase, which will make it as this it. So if it counts the number of time, now it was counting number of times it appears. This it doesn't appear in this list. The small it is not there in the list. Okay, capitalized it is there in the list. Hence the number of occurrences was 0 for this, because we were actually trying to look for this it, right? So that is why what we are going to do is, in the beginning itself, we will change all the words within list to lowercase. So for I in list words, sorry, I in range len, you can also use enumerate over here. I can simply write here list words I equals list words I dot lower. So this will convert all the words into lowercase, and I'm going to also print this list words, right? Let's check it now. So this is the string and press enter, and let's see. Now it is giving me 1. What it did, it converted this, it first converted the string into list. Okay, and then it also converted all the uppercase characters into lowercase characters so that we have a uniform search everywhere. And then it printed the values in this way. Okay, that is, it counted the frequency of elements, and you can also see that none of the values is being repeated over here, right? So this was the program to count the frequency of elements. Tomorrow we will have a last class where we will complete the chapter by dictionary functions and methods. So thank you everyone. I will take your leave.